Perhaps a red line territory. Whoa, how about a subject line there? Hi, Lou and Will. I would totally understand if you don't want to get into this rabbit hole. What a way to start a question.
Should we just cut now?
Willie do hitting me with that kind of intro to a question. But I hope you'd at least entertain this. Well, I guess we're entertaining it. It's too late to back out now. How religious do you believe yourself to be from 1 to 10? 1 being an atheist and 10 being undetermined whether it's time to go full-time preaching. Have a nice day. Oh, man. Will, what are you doing here? What kind of show are you running here, Will? What you trying to do?
Trying to convert you.
Here's the thing. It's the term religious. It's the term. People getting hung up in the term, you know? And the practices. The term, the practices, the whole nine. It's hard to put your finger on it. I mean, right now, Will's bringing up a religious Apple fan. But it's hard to pinpoint because it means so many different things for so many different people. Like, I could see how on that scale, you would say, well, are you going to church? Right now, people are like, he's dancing. This man is dancing right now. I realize most questions, I got to dance a little bit. But just go with me for a second here. If we're talking about, if your scale is like how often you go to church, for example, or how often you pray, or if it's a very like traditional interpretation, if you want me to interpret the question in a traditional sense, then I'm not religious. But if you can open that up, the spectrum a little bit, if we're talking about belief in general, if we're talking about discipline, if we're talking about some of the pieces of a religious mindset or ideology, then now you could start to move me a little bit because I do engage in that thought process to a certain extent. Look, we have some answers to some questions. We don't have the answers to the big one. Like there's a few blind spots out there, you know. And to go down the cliche path, like in certain ways, the longer I live and the more that I learn, the more that I realize I don't know. You see that? So I start to understand the existence of religion. I start to understand the mindset and the importance to a certain extent. Like I don't think that this topic is the bipolar black and white thing that the way that people treat it. Now I get it. You know, some people, certain experiences, some people say, look, if there's benefits, the drawbacks are bigger. Or some people say if there's drawbacks, the benefits are bigger. People want to have, it's like a lot of conversations. It's like politics. It gets very similar. Even though the answer might be in the gray zone don't sell. The gray zone, the land of nuance, it's a complicated land to navigate. People want a simple message, simple set of instructions. You know, you want a map. But there is no map. You're born, you die. Where's the map, Will? Did you find it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe the process is looking for the map, knowing full well you're only going to catch it in glimpses, maybe, if you're lucky. I don't know. So your question there, sir, is could be interpreted in a lot of ways, but that's the way that I choose to interpret it. I choose to say that in one classification, I'm a 0 on the religious scale, but in a different classification, I might be a 10. So I've effectively answered your question without answering it at all.
Good job.
And I don't know why I called it effective, because I guess it's up to you whether it was effective or not. Nonetheless, Will, you live and then you die. That's how it goes. And in the meantime, you get to spend time. You and I. Yeah. We're here. You got Otis on your lap. Things are happening. Let's focus. There's a lot to do. Things to be done. We can have an effect. We can have an impact. I like to focus on that. We can have an effect. We can have a target. We spoke about it before. You know, aim to impact that which you can impact. It doesn't have to be everything all at once. Anyway, that's a red line territory. That's his subject line. Now you're about to get all kinds of crazy questions, Willie Do, because you entertained this one. Now you know what you're going to get hit with? You don't even want to know.
Yeah. Well, the weirder, the better.
All right.
I like reading them.
There you have it. Willie Do, he just opened himself up to whatever you might want to throw at him. It's will@loulater.com. Send him your questions. You could get on the show as well, and we'll see you real soon.